What's up out there? Welcome back to more Melvor Idle Hardcore. This is Gen 2, episode 73. Now, in the last video, I think I started working on the township tasks over here, and I'm pretty far along. I've gotten all the way up to the very hard tasks, and that's what I'm working on now. I do have the ability to go into township and buy all of the pieces. Not only am I level 60, but I've got 94 of the tasks done. I just completed those today. So I can buy any of the skill suits that I need as a whole. So if I want to start working on astrology or something like that, I can go through and buy the suit, sell it off. It's only 400,000. Yeah, it's probably a waste of money, but if I want to work on a particular skill for a short time, I can do that. And I really like to have that ability. I'm still continuing on with the rest of it, but because all of my skills need to be leveled up to 120 anyway, anything I do for the township task list is going to count towards that XP. Whereas on my standard account, I was just trying to hurry up and get through it. Now, this stuff is all because my standard account was already 120 on everything pretty much. So this account is now leveling up and trying to get, the completion and all that good stuff and get township done, get the task done, get all that going. So that is where we are today. I have completed almost everything on here. I shouldn't say almost everything. I've completed a very large chunk of stuff. I now have the most difficult or most time-consuming things to do. Getting bank slots won't be a big deal. I just need to let it idle on a dungeon, which it's going to do on the Terran God dungeon for a little while to complete this. So I'm going to try to pair those things together to get these two knocked out. If not, I'm just going to let it run on maybe the Air God or something like that. I feel like the Air God gives you the most bank tokens. The Terran one, maybe not so much, but I need 60 clears on that. So I'm going to go in there and get that done. And I also want to work on getting completion for the standard portion of this, the base game. And all these chests will help with that. Well, the scrolls, I guess, the 2 scrolls, because we need to get the Ultimate God Sword, and the Ultimate God Sword is 5 of each of the regular God Swords. You can see I got a long way to go because I've only kept 1 of each. Stupidly, I guess, but I've only kept 1 of each aside from the Glacial one. So I need to idle on these to unlock more of those because you need 5 each to get this. And I got this on my standard account. It's pretty sweet. It is a nice sword. So I'm going to be working towards that. And just like everything else, there's like a million things to work towards at once. So you have to prioritize. So I can combine these two together, maybe work on that Ultima thing a little bit on its own there. These won't be too bad. I could probably knock each of these out in 2 different days. The Fire Capes is just the Volcanic Cave, and then the Infernal Cape is the Infernal Stronghold. So those shouldn't be too bad. Ancient Ring of Skills, this one sucks. This, you just got to let it fish for a week or whatever, however long it takes. If I get 1 of them, I could turn it in. I'd probably wait until I got 2 just so I could keep 1 and then use that. I need to fish this thing up at some point anyway, just to use it on leveling everything else up. The Jadestone's not terrible, and the Jadestone bolts isn't terrible. You can get those off of hunting greater dragons. In fact, I may have some of those in my equipment slot somewhere. Do I? Gotta look now. Yeah, so I've got Jadestone bolts covered. I just need to get the Jadestone itself. I put that back on thieving, right? Yeah, it looks like I did. So this I could go into thieving and get, not a big deal. Magic trees, I'm trying to work on that. These seeds take forever to get, so I'm just working on that. These here, the Tidal Fragment, Shockwave, and Ocean Song, that's not hard. You can get that done fairly quickly. You only need like 1 of each, so few hours can knock that out. So there's a lot of little things that are going to take a little bit of time on each one. They're not terrible, and they could probably be done fairly quickly. This here with the 5,000 carrots, that's what I'm doing now. Thieving up all of this, I had to go cook carrots up. I've been having to grow carrots, and then I had to go steal these seeds. But I was working there was a bunch of other potions you had to go craft, so I worked all this thieving together with the farming and herb lore to knock those potions out. And, I kept a bunch of these herb sacks up here too. Got a whole ton of these things in case I need the seeds for some reason. Figured I'd bank them. That's all kind of different seeds in one spot, so I'll hang on to that. So that's kind of what I've been doing right now is just thieving, just trying to piece all this together and thieve all this. On the elite side, I'm going to probably skip the antique vases. Those take forever. The ancient, this big blast of rings for the mastery, and that takes forever. I'll skip that. I'm working towards the carrots. I'm growing those slowly over time. The bones will be easy. Magic bones and big bones, that's easy. Just let it idle for a while on something. Poison essence, burning essence, stinging essence, and undead essence, that's not terrible. Probably get that in a day too. But everything I'm saying is going to be a day. You know what I mean? I do have one signet ring already, and I have half of another signet ring. I just need to go into combat to get the other half of it. And when I was doing some little combat earlier, and I got another gold topaz, so that sucks. I could have got the combat piece knocked out. You never know when you're going to get it. So let's see here. Amulets of Torture and Amulets of Fury, those are not hard to get, and I already do have plenty of Fury of the Elemental Zodiacs, so I can give one up and get this, but these take a while to get. They can take a very long time, and 40 of them is tough. I think you only need 10 for each. I think you need 10 for the Fez, so getting 40 is like getting a lot of that. Yeah, it's going to be rough. Like I said, the signet ring's probably not a big deal. These here, I don't have very much left to go on them, and I could probably tie this into getting the other pieces in the other side because I only need one piece of each. But I still have to go through and kill off 900, 700, 300, whatever. I still have to kill off several hundred of each one of these, so that's like a day's grind each. But then I get these in-game weapons for free, I guess. Jadestone bolts, that'll take a very long time. These here, these wands and the bird's nest, that's going to take far too long. I probably won't do that. So we can skip 5 of these because there's 109 and there's 114. 114 and you only need 109. So you can skip 5. So I'll skip 1, 2, let's see here. Probably 3, 4, I don't know, somewhere in there. I'm going to work this down because there's some of these I think I can definitely get done a lot easier than others. These wands, these are going to be very easy to get. All you need to do is get about 30 or 40 elite, maybe even 20 of the elite, what do you call it? Elite magic wands. Let's see, that's in rune crafting and here. So these, you only need 20 of these magic wands. Because if you have enough preservation and duplication of items, you can knock this one out fairly quickly. And the cool thing is, where'd it go? This one here. You only need 10 of each. And I already have a few of each, so no big deal. But the cool thing is this actually ties in with the very hard task because the Cursed Maiden drops a lot of those. And I need basically 2,000 kills on her to finish this part of the task. So at the same time I'm collecting those wands, I can be killing her. So a lot of these things tie together, and that's why I'm doing the thieving now, because I tied a whole bunch of things together. I thought, I can steal up carrots and all the herbs and all that stuff, and then just whenever I have time, focus on a break or whenever I have time to sit and do something, I'll give thieving a break and then come back into it and, do the herb lore or whatever else I needed to do. The one thing I did not do is to go in here into agility. I've kind of left it all on skilling, and I still need to finish off agility. One of the big goals on agility is to get the elite pillar of generosity. So then I get the 50 or 80 bank slots, whatever it is. There's a crazy number of bank slots. I'd like to get that unlocked. I definitely want, regardless of whether I do it for this portion or not, I definitely want to get all these bird's nests done, because that's 80 bank slot tokens. That is a lot of bank slot tokens real fast. So, it's going to take forever to get the bird's nest, but you also have to think that you're going to level up 8 levels and chop all these trees. I'm working on the masteries for them anyway, so, it'll get there. Let's see. So the township tasks have taken me all over the place. I've been doing, farming and herb lore and thieving and all that kind of thing. I did sit down the other day and I took my 4,000, whatever it was, ticks and power leveled this up. I went out on Reddit. Let's see. And I found somebody that had a nice little spreadsheet that talked about, it was like a beginner's guide, and there was different ones for how far you were along. And I basically took it and it showed you all the upgraded buildings. I set it to the non-upgraded versions and then tried to match that. So basically I restarted my town and I messed up and picked Eris instead of Terran, which whatever, I'm not going to worry about it at this point. I was trying to power level up. I was at like level 60 something. So I spent about an hour screwing around with this. And what I did is I followed their template to build the town up. I basically restarted the town, built enough of it to complete these 14 tasks, and then came back and then started readjusting the town accordingly. And they wanted you to build all these town halls and the farmers markets and all that. I think I ran out of room. I think I've built in pretty much everything where I can build. So now I can probably start pulling off town halls and things. At this point, I don't care. I may redo this at some point. I don't know. One of the things that I was really wanting to do is to power level up to get my skill cape back, my max skill cape, which I think I can do that now, can't I? I have to look. I don't have my I can't do my completion one yet. These I can't equip because I still have some of the base game left to finish. But on the base game, I only have a few items left. Let's see here. Totally getting sidetracked on here. So if we do only base game or undiscovered, yeah, I still have a fair bit of items, but all of this is township stuff. The suit upgrade and then the skill cape, which I guess I can buy the skill cape now. But then there's all the different boots and hats and everything. I do need to do the urns. I need to work on those urns and then the ultimate god sword. So that's all the items that I need, all the pets, all the monsters, and everything else is done aside from the crafting masteries for these urns, the small and medium urns. So I need to work on those, and then that will be done, and then I can have my cape of completion back on, and that takes care of that. So I'm kind of working towards that as well. And that Ultima grind will be good for some of the things that I need, for bank slot tokens and stuff like that. So I'm trying to incorporate as much of that and stay in the base game for now. I do want to go out into the expansion at some point because this ancient sanctuary, completing this thing one time means that I can go into the shop and buy this extra equipment set, which will be huge for hardcore. So I'm working towards that. That'll give me another slot over here. What I've done with my standard account is I've used number 4 for my skilling side and number 5 for thieving, because there's a whole bunch of stuff. Once you get into the thieving side, I think the explorer drops a bunch of stuff. I think these guys, several of these in here early on to the expansion, drop a bunch of things for thieving and, for, your high, whatever the thieving thing is, the perception or your whatever, you know what I'm talking about. Oh God, it's going to bug me. Somewhere in here is this stealth. You get stealth. Yeah, stealth. So somewhere in here, you start getting a bunch of stuff for thieving, and those are really good. I've kind of dedicated the one to thieving because I keep coming back to it for stuff, either money or items or whatever. So I figured one dedicated thing for save or item slot for thieving, and then the other one for skilling, which ties into the township stuff. Because if you get all of this, if you get these tasks to 109, then you can come in here to the shop and go all the way down to here and buy this thing, which combines all of the skill suits together into 4 pieces. Instead of all the different pieces, you get one helmet, you get one chest piece, one pant, and one boot. The cool thing is, this also, from what I can tell, it gives you 2%. These give you 2% skills for the individual skills that they're made for. And then when you combine all 4 together, you get 8% mastery for that skill also. When you combine it all together, it looks like you get 8% skill XP for every non-combat skill, and then 8% mastery for every non-combat skill. So you actually get a bonus for the other 2 skills that aren't, or however many other skills that aren't covered in here. I don't know how many there are, but there's a lot of them in here, but there's a few that aren't. And I think you can combine all that together and get all those bonuses. So leveling all this up with this stuff in place will be great. So that's what I'm working towards right now. I also went in, I bought all the little hats because I didn't realize I had power leveled and kind of left and did things over the weekend. But I hadn't owned some of this stuff, these hats down here, and then the pets and everything. So I went in and all I had to do is just build a few buildings, buy all the stuff out, and now I've got all these pets. So I have some of the pets for, I got all these rocks, and then I got these here. These were the ones that came in with Township. So got all these unlocked now. So that's cool. I'd forgotten about them. So I got all those unlocked. And finally, I've been going into this mod manager every few days and just setting the filter or the sort on it to newest. And I saw this one here today. It's called Do I Have Room? This thing is fantastic for hardcore. It shows if you have room to steal from an NPC. So if you noticed it before, it's going to tell me I have enough room to steal from this NPC. Now, if I click on here, it's going to say I need 7 bank slots. So if I come over here and go into this and just sell everything and come back, now I have enough room because it hadn't filled in yet. So this thing will actually tell you, instead of having to go to show drops and count it all off and then go back up here and think, well, I got to get all this and I could possibly get mastery tokens, and you got to remember all the different things that can fall in, and maybe I already have some sneakers, so that's one less. You don't have to worry about all that. It just tells you right there. Now, I don't know if it just simply counts the number of spaces with the number of items. I don't know, and I don't care. It just tells me what I need to know. The developer said it does not count tablets. So if you're running the monkey leprechaun where it sells everything, it doesn't take that into account. So is what it is. But this is real handy because, like this farmer, I'm trying to farm this thing out. I had to sell a bunch of room and I wasn't quite sure what I needed. So I just sold a bunch of stuff and hoped it was right. And then started thieving. I found this today. I'm like, man, that is sweet. So that's a very cool addition for especially like hardcore. Let me know whether I can steal from it or not, and then skip it or don't skip it or whatever. So I loved it. Nice little addition. So that's pretty much where we're at, is just basically thieving off Bob the farmer. And if I'd have known I was going to be thieving this long, I would have, because my standard stuff went by pretty quick. And I think that's because I had things more tweaked with agility and all that. I don't have any of that done here. But once I start knocking a few more tasks out, I'm going to maybe stop off at astrology. Astrology just needs to get to 115. I believe. Yeah, 115 unlocks the last one. And once I hit 115, I can actually run this and probably get this last mastery unlocked. There's some combat stuff that's like this, chance to get items or whatever. I can't remember what all there are, but I want to get the combat side of this done, and I'd like to get agility snuck in there. So I got a big, tall order of stuff to do between agility, astrology, getting the ancient temple, ancient sanctuary, getting that thing beat, which means I have to go into the Slayer areas over here and run through these until I get the little puzzle pieces. There's also finishing off all the stuff for this township tasks. So there's a lot of things that I want to get done and not a lot of time to get there. Well, I mean, there's all the time in the world, but like I want to be there now on all these things at once, and it's just going to take a while. So anyway, that is where I am, and that's where I'm going with this hardcore, just letting it chill in the background and doing what I need to get these tasks done. And once I get these done, then I'll start working on the actual expansion, like really working on the expansion. Hopefully in the midst of all this, I get the completion stuff done so that I can actually put my cape of completion back on. But anyway, that's where we are right now. And that will do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.